Hey, it's Rochelle, and I have another use case for you about my custom OpenClaw setup. And I'm excited to do this use case because I feel like this is going to be a part one and a part two. This is going to be, hey, this is what I set up today, and we're going to cross our fingers. We're going to hope it works, and we're going to see what happens in a month. We're going to give it some time to run, and then we're going to come back and we're going to see, was it effective? So with this one, as you probably know, I have a custom OpenClaw setup. I tried to install OpenClaw, didn't like it, went through a bunch of iterations. I ended up with a custom setup that is using Discord as my gateway, Supabase as my backend, and running the whole thing. And then I have my own custom dashboard in a UI to be able to manage. Now, if you don't know any of that, look at some of the other videos so that you can see how it is all set up. But now, if you know me or you have seen any of my other videos, you know that I also have three apps that I have vibe coded. I dove into vibe coding last August, so what, about 7 months ago? And so far I have built three apps. I have Ink-lings, which is a journal prompting app. I have Remember-lings, which summarizes your chat history and brings it into memories for you. And then I have Inbox Echo, which is a retaliation against cold emails and cold outreach DMs. And so those are my three apps that I have built. They are all open, they are running, they are functional, and they are out there in the wild. Now, I am the primary user. I built them for me. If you look at my other videos, you know that I always say start with passion projects, start with something you're interested in, and that's what I did. I had a reason for building all of them, and those are my apps that I have and what I built. And so, what I like using them, I use them all the time. But I would love to tell people about them. But I've learned I hate marketing. Hate it. Burning passion, don't like it, doesn't interest me whatsoever. I do have social media for all the apps. So I have an Instagram and I have a Facebook page for all of the apps. I'm not really on, or I am kind of on Reddit in and out. I'm definitely not on X. I am not that person. But that's just kind of me. I have tried a couple different things. Like if you look at my website, you'll see like I tried a thing that I had labeled as like renderlings where I tried to use Airtable to auto create social media. And it just didn't really work. It was an experiment that failed. And this is the fun of AI, right? Like it's okay for things to fail. So this is experiment number, I don't know, 587, when it comes to marketing these apps without any effort from me. Because I like building, I like exploring, I like doing things. I don't want to market, I don't want to do all this stuff. Like it's just not my jam. So what I did is I was like, you know what? I could have my OpenClaw do this for me. And let's just see what happens. Let's see how it works. So here is what I currently have set up for my version of OpenClaw or my TrashPanda ops running my social media. Now, I'm going to show you for Remember-lings because it's just easy to show you there, but I have this set up for all three of my apps. So I have it set up for Inklings, Inbox Echo, and Remember-lings. And I just duplicated it across all three brands. But I am just going to show you one of those brands for clarity's sake to make that a little bit easier for you. So let's take a look at what each of these is doing. Okay, let's start out in my UI, and this is where I manage all of my app or all of my different things. It's my friendly version of how to see everything. So you see here, I have Scout. Scout is my handy dandy manager of my apps. I don't know why, but he was giving me Raymond Reddington vibes in my mind, and so that's what I gave him. I gave him his identity as Raymond Reddington, and so. I don't know what that says about how I feel about marketing, but go with me on it. So that's Scout. And for Scout, I have a version of Scout for Remember-lings, a version of Scout for Ink-lings, and a version of Scout for Inbox Echo. And you can see each day they run at about 2 cents per day for each app. So they have a budget of 50 cents a day, but they really don't run more than that, which is good. If I go into Remember-lings, you can see my cron model. So running the actual model is 4.0 mini, but my interactive model, if I talk to him back and forth, is Claude Sonnet because I want him to be a bit more reasoning focused. So here at 30 days spend, he's at 20 cents. Like this, it's not bad, Scout. Like keep it up, man. I will take it. You can see all of his tasks here of what he is able to do. But if I throw in, he also has message checks in here because my agents can message each other, and they check to see if they have any pending messages, basically checking in their inbox. If I go to his cron jobs of what he has or what he is going to do, I can see, let me just look here. Okay, so in his cron jobs, so what he has is he does a Instagram post daily, and so he posts on Instagram. He is going to do a monthly competitor analysis of looking at a couple of competitors we identified, looking at their social media, what they do, looking at their website features, etc. He's going to look Reddit to try and find Reddit threads to be able to comment on naturally and maybe bring up Remember-lings. He is going to find daily follow suggestions, so accounts on Instagram that I could follow that may potentially be interested in following back. He's going to create a Reddit value post. So instead of just responding on Reddit, he's going to draft a post that I could put on Reddit. The Reddit ones only happen like once or twice a week. This is not every day. We spread these out. DM research we turned off because I wasn't getting good results on it. So I turned that off for now. I'll revisit that. We'll see how that goes. They just didn't feel comfortable, didn't feel like me. So remember, I don't like marketing. So didn't like it. He also creates a monthly blog post for Remember-lings, and I'll explain that flow. He does a weekly retro to evaluate. So one of the processes of this is being able to post things and then do a retro to see how did things do, what do we need to modify, can I propose improvements to my systems and how I work. And then message check, just making sure that the agents back and forth are talking. And then there was one-offs, like if I do any one-offs. And then we have a safety net in there too, and I'll explain this. So here is the main thing he does is he posts on Instagram and Facebook. That is the daily post. Now, if I show you at the back end of what this looks like is in my agents, I have sort or Scout for Remember-lings. So this is Scout for Remember-lings, and this is all the data that supports all of this. I just have it nice and pretty in my UI. That's it. I just want to be able to see it nice and pretty. I have the cron jobs. They are going to support Remember-lings, and again, you just saw all that nice and pretty. I have tools that he has available to him to be able to complete all of those tasks. And then I have edge functions that also support all of those tasks as well. He also has knowledge base entries. So this is part of my RAG, where does he have access to different pieces of knowledge? So he wants to know for the different content for like Remember-lings of like different product identity, content pillars. Like I put all of this in here to help him understand what is what. And it may actually help show you on this is I built this little thing of see my brain. So I did make this. This is just a nice little pretty graph. I'll explain this in a different thing. But for the brand for Remember-lings, like you can see it ties. I have, so for the brand for Remember-lings, I'm able to pull in like the published blog topics, content pillars, Instagram content stuff, target audience, that kind of thing. So we actually pull all of that in, which is kind of cool. So you can see how everything's kind of interconnected together of what I have given Scout as context for the brand. So essentially, Scout is my agent. He has jobs he has to run, and then he has all this information about the brand, and he has tools available to complete these actions. So let's talk through a couple things that he does, okay, and the actions that he takes. So every day he is going to create an Instagram post. And this is one that this takes a huge lift off of me. Okay. I don't want to create these. I don't want to post them. It's just not something I want to do. So on Instagram, I have a Remember-lings Instagram. And these three were all, or these first three that you see here were all created by Scout. So what he did is he created the text that goes on the image, if there is text on the image. So you see these ones are. He created the image with Dolly E on for OpenAI. He also created the caption. He created the hashtags that goes with it. And then there is a script that kind of ties everything together. It sends it to Cloudinary to create this, and it turns it into a reel because reels get more reach than just static images. And so it does a slight pan on it to turn it into a reel. And then it uses the Facebook or Meta API to post on Instagram. Now, I will say the Meta API is a bitch. Like it is absolutely terrible. Cursor walked me through how to do all of it, but oh my God, it is awful. Whoever designed that system, please, just for the love of anything, go through it as a user and see what it is like. It is awful. But anyways, we survived. We got it through. Your documentation sucks, but we figured it out. Anyways, that's a whole rant I could go on. But so it'll post on Instagram. Then it will also post on Facebook. So here is the Facebook. You can see it's the same images and same things. But you will see here, like we can post here. And again, it's post through the API, all through the Meta integration, which again is terrible. Now, we had to work through some iterations on this, like Instagram, it'll post carousels. It will adjust the size of text based on the amount of text. You can swipe through a carousel on Instagram. You can't do that on Facebook. So we had to work through some iterations there of how to manage that. But it will create all of this content and it will post all of it for me. It will also, once a month, it will also create a blog. So for the blog on the actual Remember-lings site, so if you go to Remember-lings, and you go to the blog, it will create all the content for a blog and it will actually hand that off to Rivet, one of my other agents. Rivet's my coding agent. And Rivet will post the blog and it will say, here's the blog, it's posted. It will send that link to the blog back to Scout and it'll say, hey, this is posted. Will you create an Instagram post for it? And that's actually what this post was promoting the blog. So you can see how that works there. But all of this is kind of interconnected together from the agents. Now, with this, if I just let it go and let it do all its things, is it cool? Yeah. Do I have to think about it? No. But it also is very low pressure. So I have nothing writing on this, right? I have absolutely nothing writing on this. If it's successful, awesome. If it's not, who cares? These are just some side projects I did. I'm the primary user, and that's great. But it really doesn't matter if it's like super successful or not. This is not like a massive company that's relying on this, so I haven't put a ton into the content pillars and whatnot. Really, I'm just playing with my TrashPanda ops. That's the fun of this. But if it works, it works. Now, fun fact, if you want to go to these channels and you want to give them feedback because because they get the feedback back of engagement and stuff. And if no one responds to it, they change. So, or they should be changing. So that is something that I'm just curious to see how it's going to work. So if you want to follow and you want to give feedback and whatnot, I am curious to see how they respond to it. But this is very low pressure. I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out and how this experiment is going to go. And even this morning, I was like, oh, maybe I should change this. And I'm like, no, scientific method. Don't change so many things. Just let it run. Just let it go. Just see what happens. See how it does. But I do have to give it some sort of feedback, right? AI agents or agentic agents rely on feedback. Otherwise, they just drift and they just keep going and they just get all out of wonk. And you don't want that. So I have built in some feedback loops in here. So some feedback loops that I have is you'll see when on my social channel, what I will do is you'll see my social here. And I have my post for today. Now, I've already posted these, so you can see all of these. And like if I skip something or why I skip something, etc. So here, if I posted it, I will say, like, here's my feedback on it. Here's what I did. So I will, I don't have one that's live. Actually, I do. So here, this is one I haven't done yet. This is a gratitude thing that is always me. Like, this is a manual one for me, for Inklings. But here, if I close my item, I can say I posted this or I'm skipping it. And if I'm posting it, I'll give the link so it can tie the metrics of how it performed with it. And I give it feedback. Or I can skip it and I can give feedback on why I'm skipping it. So if I manually do something, say it's a Reddit comment, Reddit value post, so there is a little bit of manual work in there. I don't want it to run completely on its own and ruin my reputation somewhere yet. So some constraints in there. I will give it feedback here and it will read that feedback every time to adjust. But I also, on the Instagram one, since these auto post, right, to Instagram and Facebook, what happens is I get notified here that it's live and I can click give feedback and it will pop up and it will tell me what that, or I will enter in feedback. Now here, this is where I already gave the feedback, but it will allow me submit feedback right in Discord. So I built this in so it's right there for me. So I know, hey, it posted and give it feedback. I also have a fallback, like if it hits a limit, it doesn't call tools, we make sure it actually gets published, all the things to where instead of the lower model, the cheap model, I'll go to a higher model, built all that in. And then the last layer of insight, because we got to think about AI agents, is you got to close the loop, right? You got to give it all the information it needs, is every day from my app, I send it information. So this is from Google Analytics in my app. So I set up Google Analytics of performance. So growth and usage, website performance, social performance, this is from Meta. So this is from growth or from Google Analytics. This is from Meta. Support is a whole separate thing that I built in. I actually manage support through Discord. But I figure that should know too if there's a bunch of problems or whatnot. And so it's all going to go here and we're going to sync it all. So it has all of the insight and all the information it needs. And it's able to track over time. Like, hey, if this content isn't landing, if the followers aren't growing, if no one's engaging, shift the content. But it can't just change its prompts on its own. It has to propose changes to improve itself. And those proposed changes go to Rivet because Rivet is my coding agent. So I'll show you Rivet so you can get a visual of him. So there's Rivet. He's my little owl. He's my buddy. So he is my coding agent that the proposals will come to him and he will modify it. And he was first a little angry. He was a little feisty owl to begin with. But he will modify it now and like change it because we don't want them overwriting their prompts. We don't want them deleting their prompts. We just want them to append them or make them better and justify why with data or change what model they're using and why with data, etc. Those are what they can do. So I've essentially built a full circle media management for all of my side apps using my OpenClaw, or my version of OpenClaw, but it's all connected through APIs and edge functions and whatnot. But there's the LLM piece of it that's actually generating the content. So I gave it its identity. I gave it its content pillars of you're creating the marketing for this brand. Here's the brand. Here's what we're going to talk about. Here's how we think it's going to resonate in the audience that you are making it for. Go create the content. And then here's the tools you need to be able to post this content. Here's the tools you need to be able to evaluate how this content is performing so that you can make adjustments to how you're creating that content and what gets created in the future. And then I am able to monitor it all, and monitor it through Discord, but then also see the results on Instagram and Facebook. And then finally hopefully see the results in the growth of the website. Now, the last piece that I want to show you is this was actually Patch's idea to help me close mental tab. Is I do have a side hustle tab here, which is basically organizes all of it, where it helps me just get a single pane of glass. And the single pane of glass is going to help me manage all of my side apps. So it shows me how many total Instagram followers, how many YouTube subscriptions I have. Again, that was just an API call. Open PRs is a whole thing with the apps, so with Rivet that I'll do a different video on. Also looking at publishing social media stuff. There's revenue information in here that we don't need to have public. But realistically, I'm not making anything right now. But it also allows me to track my revenue versus expenses, so I can keep an eye on that. But I also am able to see follower growth over time and website traffic. So I can see all of that in one spot. And that's really cool to just have a single pane of glass for all of the brands. And this literally yesterday is when I implemented it. So hopefully we'll see a growth and we'll kind of see what happens. I really have no idea. But we we'll kind of just cross our fingers. We'll give it a month and we'll evaluate and we'll come back and we'll see what happens. But that is what I've put together for my TrashPanda ops to manage the apps that I built. So I made the apps and now I hopefully Scout, his job as Raymond Reddington is to get the apps out of the world and hopefully do so legally and not break any laws or end up on the Fed's most wanted list.